Hi guys,
Hello.
welcome back to Authentic Woman. In case you don't know, here we talk about matters that affect us in our daily life, and our goal is to create a tribe of authentic women who are okay with being who they are.
Yes.
Authentic women who are not afraid to go for what they believe in, no matter what the society serves us. Because as we know, society and women
A very at war.
is another thing.
Another story. Yes.
Yeah, so yeah. Yeah, in our previous video, we spoke about what was it?
Correction.
Correction.
Yes.
And we mentioned that genuine correction is not supposed to hurt.
True. Yeah.
And today we want to stretch it a little bit. It's still in the same line, but today we want to talk about. We spoke about yesterday. It was about correction.
Yes, it was about correction.
Something
but
that makes
we dive.
and then it that makes you feel low.
Yes. Yes.
You
And
know?
we dived into vulnerability and people being open with their emotions.
Yeah.
Yes, and coexisting with people in a certain way. How to handle correction. How to move with it. Yes.
Yeah. So in this video, we are going to talk about how to embrace. The other video was talking about how to deal with it.
Yeah, how to deal with correction and approaching people with correction. But now we
And the
want
pain that comes with
the
it.
pain that comes with it.
But today we want to talk about how to embrace the
the pain.
situations
Yes,
that happen in our lives. Those situations that
cause us pain,
cause us pain
hurt
and
and
like
struggle.
you hit rock bottom and you're like, I'll never rise from here. Have you perhaps been at at a point in your life where you have felt like this is too much, I cannot do it again, and you have felt like that God is unfair or the world is unfair, how it's against you? So the other day I was going through Instagram and I came across a quote that Viola Davis had shared. Some things break your heart, but fix the vision.
Yes.
And as it is well known, many successful people, sometimes it sounds like a cliche, but many successful people have a story.
True.
Talk of the Oprahs of this world, talk of the Jack Ma's, talk of the Beyoncés.
Yes. They have been
In Kenya.
In
Talk
Kenya.
of William Ruto.
Yes.
You know, the boy who did not
hustlers.
have shoes and now is the president of Kenya. Yeah, so we are going to talk about those situations and perhaps why we should embrace
Embrace
them.
the struggle. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Chenda, to begin with,
Yes.
have you, I know you're so young, I don't want to say your age,
Yes.
but in the years that you have lived in this world, is there a situation that happened to you and you felt like giving up or throwing in the towel?
Yes.
And in case
That was the case.
that was the case, how did you go about it?
Struggle in the lifetime we are in is inevitable. I wouldn't want to give a situation specifically. I don't want to really get into details. I will, maybe on a story time, if we ever have that on this channel, I will. But I've had instances where I have struggled, whether it was mentally, family-wise, or just within my relationships, friendship, family. Yeah. So there are instances where I have struggled and I have been weighed down, and there isn't in those situations there's no hope. Literally, the understanding is I can't get back, I can't do anything. I feel hopeless, I feel defeated. And more so to the believers in Christ who I would say, God is with you, keep it together, be strong, have strength. But it's not all the time we can convince ourselves with that language and with that sound of hope.
Especially
Sometimes
when you're
it's
in it.
in it.
Yeah.
Exactly. When you're through it, there isn't really that voice in you telling you to step up. And your friends might try and help you and encourage you to look at the brighter picture, but there's that hardship, I'd say. So one thing I've learned through facing those type of situations
Adversity.
and those adversities is to actually feel through the adversity, to embrace the struggle, to embrace the pain, embrace the feeling of this is really hard, I feel hopeless. Because more times than not, we assume that it will pass and we move through our lives as if that we are not hurt and we are not feeling a certain way. So even through the pain, I ensure I feel the pain through and through. And feeling the pain might sometimes lead to you breaking down, you having a mental breakdown and having an outburst, or you crying 24/7, sulking. But with that, it signals you and it signals even your mental capacity to jab up, to wake up, because some things and some struggles we go through subconsciously and others very consciously. But most pain, we and especially for my instances, it happens so subconsciously that I'm so weighed down that I'm not even understanding what I'm going through. I will break down, cry, and then my body just picks itself up because I have allowed it to feel the pain and I have allowed it to get depressed. So once that has happened to you and once you have gone through that process, you're now able to at least take a deep breath. Not necessarily step back and go back to the ring, but at least take a deep breath, realize where the pain is coming from, why are we feeling this way, what is the reason, embrace all the emotions at the moment. So with that, you're able to like take a deep breath first. And I love that I read something just a few before we even started this video about embracing struggle and embracing the pain, because there's a beauty in it and there's kind of like a light at the end of the tunnel, because with that you're able to proceed. And whether you will recognize it consciously or subconsciously, you will proceed. So yeah, that's how I've been able to see through my pain and through my struggle. But it's not always easy. I wouldn't say it's something that it's just you say it and it happens. So it's just okay, yes, and we go forward. No, and sometimes this pain is not, and these adversities are not the ones we caused to ourselves, and that's why it's more painful and more hard to deal with. But let's also don't blame it on yourself. Don't put it on your shoulder, and put yourself in the ring as the only one fighting. Certain things are not your fault necessarily, or a struggle that you put on yourself. So that also has to be understood in all this embracing struggle and all this trying to understand the pain and the hurt. Yes. So I think that is in much detail what I would have loved to say in the instance of dealing with struggle in my life.
Beautiful. And they say that God gives the toughest struggles to his favorite children. I don't know how true that is.
There's a trend going on TikTok where we're saying, God, please, I'm no longer your strongest soldier. Please give the battle to someone else. We have dealt with enough. Yeah. But
it is hard to believe
it is hard to believe that, yes, when you're constantly in the ring.
When you're lacking food, like for 3 days,
yeah,
when you're not able to pay your rent, when everything is against you, like it's hard to believe. It's hard to have faith in God And the people will ask, are we serving a lesser God?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how I'll convince you that he's never asleep.
Mm-hmm.
He's never asleep, and in due course he answers, and you look
He
back
does
and you're
listen.
like,
He
so
does
that
listen.
thing was me being sharpened for a time like this.
Mm-hmm.
I look at people like Sarah Jakes,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm amazed. That is a woman I look up to. I aspire to have a women's ministry, and she has the Women Evolve, and it's a global thing. And the other day, their dad handed over the mantle to her.
Mm-hmm.
TD Jakes handed over the mantle to her to take over the Women Thou Art Loose. And Sarah, at 14, she was a mother. You know?
Mm-hmm. And divorced at 20.
Yeah, what does a 14-year-old know
About
childbearing and child raising?
Yeah.
But she went through that for a time such as this. Right now, she can stand on pulpits and encourage other women and usher other women to their purpose. I didn't mention, like, for me, I've had instances, so many, so many that one day when God allows, I'll talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But I think in my life, I got to a point of looking at every situation through the eyes of God. And I always see God in the situation, however negative, however adverse. And I hear my friends telling me that I'm the strongest woman they have met. I don't know whether that is true.
It is true. It is true.
But it's just that I've learned that faith in God. For me, I believe in God so much that whatever the situation, like it's not like they have never they broke me. They broke me until I got to a point of realizing God is in this. However negative, God is in it. And I'll tell you, there are times I've been knocked off, you know? And days later or weeks later, I realized that was God saving me. Through that accident, that was God saving me. And through my experiences, I have learned how to deal with people. Right now, I'm able to look at that person who does not have food. And when they come to me asking for 100 shillings, I'm able to dash it to them without asking so many questions, because once upon a time, I slept hungry. And it's not like I did not have family. I just did not want to bother them. There gets a point in life where you feel like I have to be strong, yeah.
I just have to carry my weight.
Yeah, that independence. It's not like your family will not be there for you.
But this is
But
now
you're
my
like,
life.
yeah, it's my journey. It's my script.
Yes.
You know, I cannot run away from it. You know, because I have to go from the introduction, get to the point where we have this catalyst, and then get to the climax and the conclusion. I have to go through all that.
Yeah.
So sometimes
you can't come out half baked.
Yeah, you can't. You have to go through it. You have to go through it. Is it the diamond? Is it diamonds that
go through that process? What is it called? I've forgotten chemistry, but it goes through a whole chemical process to actually glitter and shimmer. Even a cake, a simple cake, has to be fully baked. Yeah,
you have to pass
through the oven.
Yes,
full on heat.
Yes. So, I have gotten to a point of allowing my own story to encourage me, like
let that be the motivation.
Yeah, to be my motivation. Like, if that was me who got through that situation, then
there's nothing that can hold me back.
Yeah, and then you're like, bring it on, God. Bring it
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, and to even add on that, when you talked about when you feel the world is against you, more times than not, it is you against yourself.
Yeah.
But let's leave that aside for another conversation. But yeah, so when you feel as if the world is against you and there's just too much going on, allow that vulnerability to motivate you and allow that feeling of weakness to be your stepping stone. I realized one thing with me is when I am down bad is when I feel an ounce of strength, because I'm still choosing to be here. I'm still choosing to face another day. I hate when I cry and act like or when I'm breaking down and then go forward and just continue. No, I take, I feel a sense of self when I actually break down and I break down, because I have allowed myself to realize that I am weak and this is a point of vulnerability and I am hurt and I am feeling this pain. So with that, you can find the motivation to be like, okay,
Embrace the journey.
yes, and embrace the journey and continue. But struggle is one thing I've realized you just can't escape. With all that is happening and with all that happens within society, and as much as we are trying to work through all this within society and help it get better and push for a better society for our children, for our nephews, nieces, brothers and sisters, but as we are doing that, we still also have to face the journey and fight our own battles and hold our own. So even with that, we still have to realize that there's no one at the end of the day is going to look at you and say, how manly were you in that situation? How did you? No one is looking at you to laugh at your weakness or laugh at your vulnerability or do that. And if they do that to you, then those are not people who should be around you, and you shouldn't allow that negativity to get into you. So even through the struggle, let's not try and overlook it and try and put ourselves in a shield and block the process, because with that you're blocking the process and you're blocking your journey. And I realized one thing about going through certain things in life is if you don't learn your setback, you utarudi class 2, class 1, utarudi tu usome tena and then you go back. So that is the case. So if you approach every instance with the idea, I'm not saying always have the positive mentality to everything, because with that you overlook certain things without understanding certain things and why they happened. So yeah, as much as you're trying to be positive, there's also the negative. Embrace that. So as you're moving and as you continue to move through life, when you're faced with these struggles, embrace understanding, embrace trying to unravel everything and open it up to ensure you have at least hit everything to the head. And if you need support, therapy, counseling, spirituality, God, there are ways that one can find help. Struggle is not something one should bear alone. It's not a cross one should bear alone. So find a tribe, find a circle for yourself. And even on our channel, kindly share out your story. We can encourage, we can talk with you. We are here for women, and we are here to be a tribe for everyone. But yes, find a support. There's a way counseling or therapy will look at it in a better picture and help you and just be a stepping stone for your next step, or just hold you through it. So there's no hope is lost at the end of the day. Let's try and keep that understanding Yes, so encourage everyone, even through the struggle, let that be your motivation. There is beauty after all that. There's something that is always at a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, just be, and also to add on to what she said, as you go through that situation with understanding, take notes,
True.
and open your eyes so that you'll see what that
Yeah.
situation is trying to communicate to you.
Yeah. Allow life to show you the next move.
Allow life to show you
True.
your purpose, where you're supposed. Those situations are never in vain. They align us with our purpose. And as Viola shared, those situations break your heart, but they fix your vision. So as much as you're feeling pain, open your eyes to the lessons that are coming your way, so that it does not turn out to be wasted pain. No pain is supposed to be wasted. It is pain for a purpose. Let it be pain with a purpose. A pain that you look back and say,
okay,
that was God.
Yes.
Or I made it through. There's this song, I made it through. And I don't know.
I don't know.
And I don't know how I did it. But it's okay.
Oh.
You get? I made it through and I don't know how I did it.
But
That will be, if you're going through that situation at this moment, just know that that will be your song at one point. I made it through and I don't know how I did it. Because God had your back and she was in that situation. You might lose your mom. Like I know a friend who lost her child. She miscarried. And then after, was it 3 months? The father died. And then, was it a month later or 2? The mother died. So you have lost a pregnancy and you have been orphaned in a span of less than 6 months. In that situation, there's nothing that someone will tell you that will give you hope. Nothing. And it's okay, because it's that moment, of darkness. When you're in darkness, no matter how much light is shown your way, you'll not see it. So, as Chenda has said, embrace it. And when you feel it's getting out of hand, just seek help. Counseling is important. Very, very important. You don't want to ignore it and then you get mental health disorders. It becomes now a lifetime issue. Like you have to be on drugs because that situation gave birth to a disorder, a mental health disorder. So let's not allow ourselves to get that point. Let's seek help when we should. It's not easy. Sometimes you feel like you should lock yourself in the house and just sob. Sometimes you feel like you don't want anybody. Like for me, I normally tell Chenda I love my space. And sometimes when I'm going through stuff,
you isolate.
There are very few people I'll tell. Sometimes even my family doesn't know.
Yeah.
But my friend, should I say her name? Beryl.
We love you, Beryl.
But Beryl will know. Like she will know. No matter the situation, she'll know. And she always comes through. So sometimes it's not easy getting that tribe to your side. Maybe you have been heartbroken by people you thought were your tribe and you lost trust in people.
Yeah.
It's important to just have someone there. Could be one person, it could be 2. So don't allow those situations to make you lose direction completely.
Lose self.
And
because
lose self.
Because out of this, at the end of the day, we still want to be whole human beings. We still want to have ourselves to look up and to just be one. So even through everything, the end goal is self. The end goal is to have you as a whole human being, as a fully baked cake. So that's why if you need support, get support, because even the cake is baked with ingredients. It is baked with certain things. It's not baked alone.
There's heat,
There's
there's
heat,
ingredients.
there's ingredients. Yeah, so seek that support, because at the end of the day, all this struggle, all this pain should lead to self-discovery, self-love, something of self. Yes, so through it all, and even those who are facing mental issues at the moment, for whatever reason it was, whether it was a struggle that got you there, or it was something that just occurred through life that got you there, I'm sending all the love and all the strength and all the encouragement.
It's not easy.
Choosing to be here even through all the mental distress is not one thing I would even want to imagine. So, but there's support, and there's love, and there's encouragement, and it's not your fault. It is not something. It's not weak. It is not something that people cause for themselves. But let's at least see ourselves through this, and let's be a reflection of the process and the pain and the struggle.
And don't look at yourself through the lens of society.
That is a whole other topic. That is a whole other topic.
Because if you look at yourself in the lens of society, you will die. You'll not die like death, but you will die
at a death of self.
Yes, you will lose yourself. At the moment you lose yourself, that is death. Getting to know self is a journey.
True.
So once you find yourself and then you lose yourself because of society, that is death.
That's death. And society writes a narrative that it assumes everyone's journey is one and everyone's role is one, which is not the case. We are all different. We go through it different. We look different. We act different. It's different for everyone. And that's why even with that understanding, you'll be able to decipher and separate yourself from what society terms or the rules it enforces that put you in a cage. And those cages are what mostly even lead to more struggle and more mental issues and just chaos overall. So have that distinction. And we'll touch on that about society and the in-depth of it. But for now, let us learn to distinguish let's separate ourselves from society when it comes to ourselves. Let's not throw ourselves into a group.
Because there's a reason why you're carrying in your mother's womb alone.
Yeah, and even the ones who had twins, you are in your own
separate lives. So.
Yeah, and it's a whole life. So let's it's everyone's journey on their own. Yes, but
and there's a reason why you die alone and you're buried alone.
So you're not going down with your husband. You're not going down with your titles or marital expectations. No, you're going down alone.
So as we wrap up, just in case you've hit rock bottom,
kindly seek help. We'll put the links. You can put the links.
If you've hit rock bottom, don't lose hope.
Yeah, please don't.
There's light at the end of the tunnel.
True.
I know that sounds like
it normally sounds so cliche. And half the time I normally want to laugh because I'm like, Aki, some things are just not.
At times I've been told that and I'm like, I laugh like.
Yes, are you serious? I don't even want to hear it.
But later on, you realize.
Yeah, and there's language also when you're approaching people who are going through this. And there's even a language I'll use with you when you're going through something. Don't be so forward to say, it's going to be fine, it's going to be... No, listen to someone and open your arms. You're not the first one to go through this. You know there's a whole... Where's your Kwanzaa? Leave that alone, cut that out. It's just so disingenuous and you're not empathizing. You're actually just putting someone into distress. Open your arms for embrace and use the translate that in language. Allow them to feel what they're feeling. Be a space for them. And then if they need help and support, allow that process to happen.
The only language you should speak is the language of love.
Please. Please.
Or how you do. I love my tribe of women. They'll always ask you, hi Mickey, how are you? Are you okay?
Are you okay?
And if you're pretending to be okay, you just open up and say no. And they'll genuinely want to know how they can help you.
Yeah. And also, if you're not also in a space of helping someone, don't lie and say you can. Or if you can't handle someone's emotions at the moment, own up and say, I don't have the space for you now, and I don't have the emotional capacity to hold your emotions with you. We'll revisit this later. But I love that you've come to me with this issue. I will embrace your emotions when I'm ready, but I have heard you and I am here to hear you. Just give me some time. Let's also use that language instead of insisting on listening to someone and then throwing statements like, wewe si uko peke yako. Hii maisha ni ukwe. If you can't handle that, the language and handling for certain situations, then you don't have to. But yes, we're sending a lot of encouragement and a lot of love. I know times are tough. Society is really messing things up. But and within family, within wherever space, things might be hard for you. But yes, let's at least try and encourage ourselves that there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
And remember, it always gets better later. So
and find something to grab onto. Don't let life push you to a place where you don't have anything to even hold on to. Just something small as it is. Whether it's a plant in your house that you have that you look at and it just makes you smile. Have that, as small as it is. Hold that dear to you.
Yes, so with those great insights from Chenda,
my sister.
that is why we wrap it up.
Yes.
I don't know what we shall be talking about next. What shall we be talking about next?
We should do.
What
We should
shall
do
we
one
be
of
talking
these.
about next?
Self-love. We should do self-love and touch on an article.
We should do.
I don't know.
We should do
Self-love.
self-love and boundaries because the two are
Boundaries.
intertwined.
They're intertwined. But boundaries are very important.
Yes.
Very
So,
important. That one has to be touched.
Until next time.
Thank you so much. We appreciate.
If you haven't subscribed, please
Kindly
do. Please do. You don't want to miss this amazing content.
Yes.
We love you. Bye.
Bye. Mwah. Thank you.